What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Club Import Cars and Chatter podcast. Caesar looks a little confused right now. What's going on with you, Caesar?
No, we're good. I'm just adjusting my headphones.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We took a hiatus for the past month. We just wanted to chill a little bit with the family, friends, and so forth. And Caesar, of course, went on 2 vacations.
One.
Two.
One.
Two.
1 into 2.
Two.
1.
Okay. Anyways, but before we continue, I just want to remind everybody again that if you are looking into getting some products as far as carbon fiber for your Infiniti and so forth, make sure you guys visit South Bay Auto Works website. Use the code ClubImport. Save yourself 15% off of your entire checkout.
Thank you, South Bay. Appreciate it.
Thank you, South Bay. Appreciate you. And, of course, Straight Auto Body Shop.
Yes.
Thank you for allowing us to use your beautiful space once again. And without you guys, this podcast kind of wouldn't be what it is today. But before we get into it today, we're going to tell you guys exactly what we're going to talk about. We're going to be talking about sponsorships. I get asked a lot as far as what goes on getting sponsorships. But before we continue, hey, Caesar, can you clean up your mess right there, please?
That wasn't me. I'm just kidding. It's cold. Commercial break.
And no, there's no break. We're just going to wait until Caesar cleans up his shit.
Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad.
Yeah.
Better?
Much better.
My bad.
All right. So we're going to be talking a little bit about sponsorships, what goes on behind getting sponsored and so forth. But again, before we get into the whole diagram of how to do it, I do want to say one thing. I put together a PDF file or a Word file. I can showed you, Caesar. Now, this file itself is a full-on blown proposal. Saves you a lot of time, saves you a lot of headache. All you have to do is fill in your information, attach a couple of pictures, and you can send it out to any company you want to possibly get sponsored. Now, if you are interested in this file, let me know. Shoot me a DM, and we can discuss some information. It is for sale. Unfortunately, you know, nothing comes free. We got to pay for our equipment. We got to pay for the space and so forth. So if you are interested, let me know. I'll be more than happy to share it with you. But
it's a pretty cool proposal.
It is. It took me about a month and a half or so to put together, but it's very detailed and it's very formal. I mean, you can't really go wrong. Yeah, it's professional. I mean, if you don't, I wouldn't say it guarantees you sponsorship. It'll get you something, but it won't get you a full sponsorship. Maybe not. Maybe it'll, but you never know.
That's a topic in itself that we're going to touch, the full sponsorship.
The full sponsorship. The feud.
Good luck.
Yeah. But, Caesar, why don't you start off with your experience in getting sponsored?
So, I think my first quote-unquote sponsor was Strictly Business.
Okay.
And
was it full or partial?
Partial.
Okay.
It was a partial sponsorship. They started back in. They started in probably, I don't know when they actually started as a business, but when they started making parts for the Q60, I got in contact with them, and that's when they were bringing out the new stuff, like the new style hoods, the diffusers, the duckbill, the lips, all that, because they focused a lot on the Q60. They didn't bring out Q50 parts, so their main, one of their main things was the Q60. So I got in contact with them, and I remember the first thing I got was the duckbill.
The duckbill spoiler or the actual duckbill?
The duckbill spoiler, the one that just goes in your trunk. I think I was the second person who got it, and it's still holding up pretty good, to be honest with you guys. It's one of my favorite parts on the car. So I remember I got that through them, and with that one purchase, it kind of opened up. I got that one at pre-sale cost.
Okay.
Because they did the first 5, you get a big discount. And it's crazy how expensive everything has gotten nowadays compared to back in 2017.
Forget 2017. I'm talking 2009 right now.
Well, 2017 is when I started, so
yeah, it's kind of late to the game.
A little bit. It's my first build, man. But I did that one, and then that kind of opened the door to build a relationship with them.
Okay.
You know, I actually became friends with them. They're really cool people. That's when I met Jose, and then
Jose Puedo.
Yep, exactly. And then I met the owners as well. So they're really cool people. And then I switched over to getting the hood. Funny thing is, I bought the hood without even knowing what it actually looked like, because they had the original AMS style design.
Yeah.
And then they were bringing out a new design, and I was very set on being the first one with it, that I bought it without fully knowing what it looked like. They had showed me a sketch of it, and the sketch itself looked pretty cool. So I was like, okay, I want that one, because everybody was having the AMS style already. And so I got that one. And it's funny because I know a lot of people nowadays, they hate waiting for parts because of delays and stuff like that. So I remember I had to wait about, I think, like 2 months for it.
Okay, that's not too bad.
The only bad part is like you have your money in the air. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. So after that built more relationship, not because I bought the parts, but because I got to talk to them more as a company. And then when I got really hooked up was when I got my diffuser, the bottom diffuser. I was the first one with that one. They test fitted on the car. And yeah, after that, I ended up with R1 Concepts, which was a partial, Brahm, which is also a partial. AFE, I'm sponsored through them, not mainly, but they used my car for R&D. So they developed the intakes for the VR with my car, the catback exhaust for the Q60, and we pushed their downpipes a lot that they used to make. They don't make them anymore because of the new EPA laws. So that one, it was a very nice sponsorship.
So let me ask you a question. How did let's start off with Strictly. How did you go about reaching out to them?
DM.
Okay.
That was all through. All of my stuff, honestly, well, not all of it. Strictly was through DM. R1 and Brahm both have applications online.
Okay.
And I have to think back a little bit because I've been with these companies for years now, so I have to remember what the process I went through. Them two, they have applications online. AFE, my friend actually referred me to them because they were looking for a Q60.
Cool.
And then that's what opened the door to everything as far as the products, the parts, and building a relationship with them as far as California Qs with AFE and Takeda. That was just a foot in the door, and it just blew up into something that I never thought was gonna, happen.
What was the context of the DM?
For the AFE one?
Any of them.
So the AFE one was my friend sent me the post that they were looking for a Q60. So I sent them a DM seeing if they needed somebody still, and they got me in contact with the appropriate person. And then from there, it was just emails back and forth.
Okay, so majority of the contact as far as AFE goes for the sponsorship or whatever you want to call it was through emails. Mm-hmm. Okay, and was it like professional emails or formal? Or
at the beginning, it was professional, but then as the relationship built, it became more of a formal conversations. Like I would just call them directly and we'd enjoy a conversation at the same time.
Okay.
And as far as as far as R1 and Brahm, those were all professional, straight to the point, not really like a relationship. It was more of like a, cool, this is your discount. What do you want? Sort of thing.
So let me ask you this. If you were to go back and if you were to kind of try to remember any of the companies that you reached out to that you didn't get any answers back from?
I got denied by some. I have to think though, but there were some that they had said no, mainly though because they weren't doing sponsorships. I don't remember which ones they were though, but there were a few. Okay. You're not always gonna get a yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, they said no. It is what it is. I remember I went to, back when I was looking for rims, I went to a wheel shop, a local shop by where I live, and I told them, I was like, so how do you guys do as far as sponsorships, partial, even just to like represent you guys as a shop? They just gave me the look like, what? What are you talking about? Like, no, we don't do that stuff. Sorry. And I was like, do you guys not see the cars first? It's more like they kind of almost took it as a joke. And it was kind of a bummer, but at the same time, I was more like, okay, like, it is what it is.
You saw the good and the bad.
Yeah, I mean, I lost nothing by asking.
Of course, you never win or lose by asking.
Exactly, and I mean, it was like you said, you get asked the question all the time. I get asked the same question all the time, like, how do you get sponsorships? And I tell them, I'm like, it never hurts to ask, you know. And I tell them a lot of big companies actually have applications online. You just have to literally type in, like, I think Toyo has one online. Literally just type in Toyo Tires sponsorship. You know, they have one. I think Falcon Tire has one. I think I applied for the Toyo one once and I didn't get a response.
Toyo, 2-3 years ago during SEMA, Toyo sponsored the car. My car, at least. It wasn't full sponsorship, but it was a very nice sponsorship.
Nice discount. I mean, at this point, especially the way things are priced nowadays.
Oh, definitely.
Get 30-40% off. It's like a game changer.
So let me ask you a question. You know, being the owner and founder of Cali Q's, did you use that as leverage?
No.
No. So what was your game plan?
Because the thing with California Q's, I try and keep it two entities. In
Smart
a way.
man.
It's like my build is my build. California Q's, it's for the car community. You know, the relationship that came out of my build with AFE, it was just they cared a lot about the Q community, and it was a platform that they wanted to tap into. So it's like it was perfect, you know.
So AFE, if I'm not mistaken, also makes engine, right? Engine intakes, INJ.
I don't think so. Their other brand is Takeda, not the engine.
Who makes engine? Anyways,
No
but
idea.
you know, one thing that I've noticed from experience is that whenever you mix two different entities into one, you do get some leverage over it. A lot of the companies, when you reach out to them, they don't care what you drive. It's more of what you can offer them in return. From my personal experience back since, let's say, 2009, for example, earliest I can remember, my first sponsorship was through MET-R. MET-R is a company in Russia. They produce, I don't know if they still do or don't, but they used to produce for the second gen FXs and the QXs, body kits for those cars. I had the all carbon fiber MET-R lip kit. Front bumper, side skirts, spoiler, rear bumper, so forth and so forth. But going back to your experience, whenever you did apply for those sponsorships, if you got it denied, did that discourage you or?
No, because I'm not. It's one thing that you have to. One of the biggest things that you have to understand when getting into the car community, it's not always going to be sunshine. It's not always going to be. You're not always going to get thumbs up from people, you know. And sometimes the most constructive criticism is going to come from like your closest friends, which I'm grateful for. You know, whenever I have an idea, I always send it to Sipan right away because I know he's going to be honest. He's going to say yes or hell no. And it's just a reality. It's like I appreciate it. And it works both ways, you know. It's like for that one quick second, you kind of ask yourself like, oh, what can I do better? But at the same time, you're like, it's okay. There's more companies out there. But I choose wisely the companies I choose to work with. I'm not going to just fill out everybody's application just because I want sponsorships.
Okay, great. How do you go through that list?
I see what my car needs and I see what companies are out there that produce parts for it.
Okay, let me ask you this. So let's say if there's a company that is looking for something and your car doesn't need it, do you pawn it off to somebody? Do you let them know? Do you post it? Do you say anything to the community or anything like that?
Yeah, so there has been companies that reach out to the California Q's page and they tell us, hey, we're looking for a car for this part. And because I have a lot of close friends, obviously, in the car community, I don't want to say I keep it close, but it's more of like if I know my friends don't have that part, I'm like, hey, reach out to this company. They need a car. Just because it's easier than me making a post like, hey, anybody, you know what I mean? And so it's the same thing happens like with AFE. They've needed cars in the past. Like they needed 2.0s. Obviously, I don't have a 2.0. Well, we do. Wink, wink. And so I make a post and I try and find them a car. I think Street Arrow needed a car for something.
Just recently, right?
and they used my car for a lip, and then I think they needed it for something else too. And I got them somebody.
You know what I love is when you put up posts that company needs a car for R&D or whatever, and right off the bat, everybody just responds to your message. Oh, what are they going to do to the car, et cetera, et cetera. Just reach out to them.
Exactly.
Don't ask us the questions.
We're just finding the car. They're going to answer all the questions for you.
Exactly.
Simple as that. There are some companies that I know what the process is going to be like, as far as like when AFE needs a car, like I know the process and how it is, and they take the car. Like for example, they made a new exhaust for the 3.7 for the Q50. I have yet to hear it, but I think it's going to be pretty cool because I saw the design. I actually want to hear that exhaust on a 3.0 with full downpipes. That's something that I really want to hear.
Why?
Because I think that it's going to be a nice, clean sound. Because it's got a nice muffler in the back with resonators in the middle, and I think it's going to be a clean sound. So that's one thing. That's something I kind of want to talk to them about to try and accomplish.
I mean, why not? Just throw them in your car and let them do it.
I don't have full downpipes, and I like the way my exhaust sounds. I don't want to mess with it. But anyway, so back to what I was saying. So I know the way that they take care of their R&D vehicles, as far as the communication. Like they'll get you an Uber if you need an Uber, to take you home after you drop off your car, or they'll even offer you a rental car.
No shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they take, and you get the parts for free afterwards.
I mean, that's what R&D is there for, right?
You get a discount. Believe it or not, there's some companies that have told me that they're like, well, then we'll give it to you at cost.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, go through all that trouble.
Especially if they keep your car for like 4 or 5 days.
Mm-hmm. Like the process with AFE for the intakes was a process because it was right before SEMA. So they couldn't dedicate as much time as they wanted, SEMA a few years ago, to the product development of it. So there was a lot of back and forth data logging and whatnot. So that's the thing is, when you're going to get sponsored by a company to bring out a brand new product, it takes time.
Absolutely.
Especially like people think that, oh, just one and done. Like the intakes, it takes time. You have to log for them. They have to take off the piece. They have to look at the logs and whatnot, make adjustments if needed. And then when it's finally done, you either get the prototype part or they're going to make you the actual part for your car. You know, and that's what people don't understand. It's like, if you're going to put yourself in that place as far as the R&D or sponsorship, be ready to give it time.
I mean, you're absolutely right. I can put it to you this way. The Q60, for example. I think the first 9 months of me owning that car, I didn't own the car.
I was at the shop the whole time.
Yeah. And majority of it was the wide body kit. And, of course, some companies would go out to the shop, do test fitting of certain other parts on the car while it was in the shop. But, you know, listen, anytime you do a sponsorship, there's the plus side of you getting a product without having to pay for it. But a lot of people don't understand. One thing they don't understand is what kind of infuriates me, makes me really mad, is they'll get the part. They won't even put it on the car. They'll try to sell it for MSRP. And a lot of companies look at that in a bad way. And some don't, some do. But at the same time, you know, if you're not going to put it on your car, if you're going to try to resell, at least don't try to resell for MSRP.
Mm-hmm. I did it once. I'm not even going to lie. I didn't sell it for MSRP, though.
Which one did you do?
The front lip from somebody. I didn't like it.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about.
So, I mean, I like to be transparent and be honest with people. Like, I did that one time. The guy saved money, so I did him a favor.
I'm not even talking about like front lips, side skirts, et cetera, et cetera. I'm talking about like big parts, exhaust, downpipes, intakes, et cetera, et cetera. You know, when it comes to accessories, small accessories like that, that's fine and dandy, because I don't have side skirts on my car just because there's nothing out there that I like.
I got you something. You didn't put them on your car.
Yeah, I did not like them.
I'm still hurt by that. I'm just kidding.
But you know, going back to my personal experience, we'll start off again with the FX. When I saw that body kit, it was just a render. I put together a proposal. I sent it to them. It took them 2 months to reply to me. It took them another 3 months to send me the part. Well, I should say parts. And trust me, guys, when I say this, getting parts from Russia, it's not fun, especially customs.
Imagine nowadays.
Oh,
I'm sure you're really glad you're not doing any of that stuff nowadays.
I feel bad. I heard some guy ordered a Renegade body kit for their QX70, and it's been sitting at customs for 6 months.
Damn. The worst thing is you never know how customs is going to take care of your product as well.
Oh, they don't care. They just toss it around. But anyways, back to getting sponsorships. When people reach out to companies, and this one gentleman, I'm not going to mention the name, sent me screenshots of how he was negotiating with a company to get wheels.
You can negotiate?
Well, not negotiate.
Oh.
Try and get full sponsorship.
A full?
Yeah.
Oh.
They offered him 30% off for 3-piece wheel, which is a good deal.
Discount.
That's a big discount. But, I told him, after reading the DMs, I told him he went about it the wrong way because to me, one, wheel companies look at the fact of how many followers you have, what kind of engagement that you have on your Instagram or social media, and also they look at your car overall. My experience as far as sponsorships go, especially full sponsorships, your best bet, your best chances of getting fully sponsored is getting a car right when it comes out.
Yeah. Like all those that got the Z, man.
Everybody's getting free parts.
Honestly, I wish I would have gotten one. Just you get a free build out of it.
Why? Paying $70,000 over sticker?
I mean, I wouldn't pay that much over sticker, but I would have been down to pay 10 over for a sport.
Good luck finding one.
No, that's the thing. Like I would have been down to pay 10. The funny thing is I called the dealership the other day because my niece wants one. And I was like, hey, how much?
Why would you call a dealership?
Because I didn't want to drive to one. Because I was curious. And because I called the dealership that actually had one on the lot. I didn't want to call one that had one on the way.
Okay.
And the guy I was like, so what's the markup? He's like, 30 grand. You interested? I'm like, I'm not going to leave my house for $30,000 over. And the guy was like, oh, it's always negotiable. I'm like, no, I get what you're saying. Like, I understand business is just like, I'm not going to go in my car and drive to your dealership for a $30,000 markup. But I would have been down to pay 10 just because I know the amount of free parts that car would have gotten. Like, you would have gotten your money back in free parts for sure. To this day, you could have.
You could have, but you lose a lot more money on the long run.
Yeah.
Reasons being is if you're not going to lease that car.
No, that thing.
You're going to buy that car.
And keep it for a very long time.
The interest alone on that car is going to kill you.
Better have some good credit.
Doesn't matter. The feds, what are the feds at right now? 7.25?
That's crazy. Well, actually, if you would have gotten that one just on time, when they first came out, it was before the interest hikes.
6.25?
No, I think it was still less. I think it could have been in the 5s, high 4s, maybe.
Nah, you're just smoking.
Really?
No, 6.25, I think. Yeah. Anyways.
I'm used to paying 2.9, so I'm good. The car is worth it.
When's the last time you bought a car?
7 years ago.
Okay, thank you.
That's why I haven't had to buy anything else. Well, my Tesla lease is pretty good. I think like 4.5.
Yeah, don't even.
I almost voted on your poll thing that you did on your story, but then I couldn't pick both. So,
you know why I did the third option?
What was the third option?
Carbon neutral.
Oh, for me?
Yeah. But okay, back to our conversation here.
We get sidetracked already.
Yeah. Damn, Caesar.
Somehow the Tesla always comes into the conversation. You hating it.
I'm not getting into it. Back to our conversation as far as getting and whether it's partial or full sponsorships. Your best bet is, again, back to cars itself, getting a car that just recently came out. And a lot of these companies, when they're looking for a car, they're not just looking for any car. Like when the VR30, Q50, Q60s came out, everybody was just trying to make parts for these cars. If you got the car at the right time, the Q60 came out in 2017. So anybody that got a 2017 started hopping on these companies.
I scored big time.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to lie.
One of my best sponsors that I've had to date is AMS. But I will tell you, I'm the type of person, if I work with the company, I'm going to continue working with that company.
Brand loyal.
Yeah.
That's hard. You know, that's
one of the biggest issues when it comes to people getting sponsored.
Dude, people these days,
they burn bridges.
Okay, remember this. If you guys are going to take anything from today's podcast, from my end, remember this. The car community is a lot smaller than you think it is.
Absolutely.
Just trust me.
These companies talk to each other.
Exactly.
And what they'll be like, oh, X, Y, and Z doesn't talk to WXY. No, they actually talk. No matter how much you think they're up against each other, they talk. And if you talk smack about one just because you're not happy with one thing, they know it. Same thing goes for tuners. Same thing goes for these small mom and pop shops.
Yeah, everybody talks.
Everybody talks.
Trust me, it's a lot smaller than you think it is. Especially with the company. I have stories, and I'm just not going to go there, but it's small. Just remember that. It's really easy. The worst part is you're not just burning a bridge for yourself, you're burning it for everybody else.
Absolutely.
There's this one company, I'm not going to say the name, but he was like, what's the point of me sponsoring cars if these cars don't know how to be sponsored cars? It's not just the company sponsoring your car, it's the company sponsoring you as an individual. The car is what you're going to post, but you as a person are the one that's promoting the brand. That's, so they go hand in hand.
I like the fact that you brought that up, because one other thing that everybody forgets is once you do get sponsored by a company, if it's a full-blown big company, you'll have a contract, whether it's wheels, accessories, et cetera, depending on the dollar amount. The wheel company that's sponsoring me right now, in their contract it states, if I behave on social media in any way, shape, or form that is misconduct of unbecoming of a promoter or entrepreneur or influencer or anything like that, technically your car itself is an influencer. Mm-hmm. They can actually take the wheels back or charge me for the full thing, which I actually respect, because that's a company that takes pride in their product. Mm-hmm. And, you'll see these guys that'll get sponsored and go act a fool at a car show, get kicked out, and then they wonder why.
Or start acting cocky on social media.
Yeah. Just because you didn't win a contest.
Or just because you got the sponsorship and you start. That's the thing. It's people's heads get big way too quick.
Way too quick.
It's.
What was the first thing that I ever told you? When you said you were starting Cali Qs.
Oh, don't let my head get too big. I think I've held up to it.
You have.
I've seen it too many times in the car community where people start to get a little bit of attention and they change way too quick. Way too quick. And it's sad because, people start as being humble and chill and whatnot, and as soon as they start getting some attention, it's like, whoa, what happened, dude? And it's sad. Personally, it bothers me just because it's like there's no need for that. You could still be the same person that you were and still have attention.
True. All right, back to the sponsorships. My personal opinion.
Getting in our feels.
Huh?
We're getting in our feels.
Too much. One of these days, what I'm going to do is we're going to sit down and bring a couple of the other guys. We're going to sit down. We're going to do like a 3-hour-long podcast, because I feel like 1 hour is just not enough. Anyways, one thing that I will suggest to everybody that is looking to get sponsored, there is a company that you're interested in, reach out to them, ask them for contact information, whether it be phone or email. Email preferably, because phone conversations, I can talk to somebody all day long, and as soon as I hang up, I start something else, I can forget about you. Mm-hmm. What I recommend is get an email and send them a proposal. And one of the good things, the reason I'm saying the proposal is, if you're really interested, I can share that proposal form that I've created for everybody. And if you're interested, feel free to reach out to my Instagram, and I'll be happy to share it with you. But a lot of times, these companies want to make sure that whenever they do sponsor somebody, that somebody is professional, whether it be professional part on their car or as a human being. Because if you're not, at the same time, you're tarnishing their reputation. You know, when you reach out to them, try and get an email, contact information. Usually when it comes to sponsorships, it's their marketing team that does all the sponsorship. So ask them to get their marketing person's email. Get that email, and usually it's the person behind their Instagram anyways, and send them a proposal, a full-blown proposal. What you're going to do for them, what you're not going to do, where you're going to be, car shows, events, photos, videos, et cetera, because a lot of times once you get sponsored, whether it's partial or not, these companies will actually invest more money into you. You know, they'll pay up a professional photographer to come out and do a full-blown video on your car.
It's an investment for them.
It's a lot of money too. It's not just, you know, people think that, you know, just because Joe Schmo does a video for $100, $200 or $300, that these companies spend the same amount of money doing these videos. No. A lot of these wheel companies spend thousands and thousands of dollars to do these videos.
Production.
Yeah. You know, I'm not downsizing or downplaying anybody, but these companies, when they do something, they do it strategically. That's the difference.
They're looking at their return on their investment.
Exactly. Because your car goes on their website, your car goes on their social media pages, so forth and so forth.
You know, one of the things that, going back to like your proposal, one of the things that I advise people the most to do is to get high quality pictures.
Absolutely.
That's one of the biggest game changer things that you could do. And it's not your cell phone picture. Yes, some cell phone takes nice pictures, but you need professional quality pictures. That's what the whenever you submit something, they're all the websites for the applications are going to ask you for X amount of pictures. Front, back, side, everything. They want to see your vehicle. So if you don't have high quality pictures, invest in at least one photo shoot. Find yourself a good photographer, hit up Cpon, slide into his DM, he'll take pictures for you. Obviously it's not free, but you're gonna get high quality pictures.
Absolutely.
You know, and he knows the angles of the cars, he knows what companies want to look at. Trust me, it's an investment, but it'll pay off down the line. Especially because they're pictures that you're gonna send to all the other companies. You're not just gonna do one company.
Exactly. One thing I always recommend when somebody is trying to get sponsored or do something of sort, you know, send them 4 pictures, front, back, side to side. And if they ask for more, that means you have their attention.
Yep.
It's like buying a car, right? You go in, you don't show all your cards. You show them that you're interested and you want to buy a car. That's where you get the salesperson attention. But at the same time, you don't play all your cards. If you send just the right amount of information properly, if you get their attention, they'll reply to you. Once you get that reply, know that they're already 50% in. When I say 50% in, they're interested in your car or possibly sponsoring.
Because they could have said no right away.
Exactly. Or not even answered you, period.
Yep.
You know, I've had times where I've spent hours or maybe even days putting together a full-blown proposal for a company, send it out to them, and I won't even get an answer back.
That happened to me recently too with the company. I actually submitted a proposal via California Qs. It wasn't for me. It was for a sponsorship for California Qs. And the only reason why I did it is because it wasn't even something that I would be able to use. It was something for track days. It was a compressor. Because, you know, we have booths at shows now. So, I mean, we're friends with all the people that are tracking their cars, and everybody's always removing air from their tires. So I'm like, we could have it on the table. People could see it. People could use it at the track days. I never got a response back. But like you said, it just happens.
It happens.
It is what it is.
Don't get mad over it. Don't get sad over it.
Nope.
But, you know, one thing I do want to say is when it comes to doing or applying these for these companies to get sponsorship, don't go in their DMs and say, hey, what's up, man?
What's up, bro?
What's up, bro? Like, I've seen those.
It's like a job interview. It really is.
Yeah.
You know, one thing, before you DM a company, you really have to ask yourself, is this a company that I want to work with? There's so many options out there, and people don't just go applying to all of them. don't apply to 5 different tire companies. You know, pick one that you actually want to work with because you like their product. And the reason why I say that is because you're going to represent that company. And you don't want to say, oh, I picked them just because they said yes. Like, you know, you have to be... Like, I like R1 products. There's a lot of other brake companies out there, but I like their stuff. You know, Braum, there's a lot of companies out there, but I like their stuff mainly because their red matches my interior the best compared to others. So that's when people ask me why I chose Braum. I'm like, because the color is pretty close to the factory color. You know, so it's like, know why? Because I know people that they were going to get sponsored by one company for whatever part, and that company took 2 extra days to reply, and then they jumped to another company instead. It's like, dude, that's how you piss off companies.
I've pissed off a lot of companies. But you know what the funny part about that is? They're friends now.
I mean, it happens, but choose wisely who you want to work with. That way, if you choose wisely, you'll be able to represent them better and in a more professional way, and be more prideful when people ask you, oh, you rock this, you rock that. That's just my
2 cents.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Before, again, I'm going to throw this in there again. If you guys are looking for any carbon fiber parts, make sure you guys hit up South Bay Auto Works website. Use code ClubImport and get 15% off your entire order. And
one of my sponsors.
Oh, that is one of his sponsors. Oh, South Bay, again, thank you for sponsoring this show in general. When it comes to post-production, they did get us something to be able to do all the color correction. Because everything you guys see right now, after we shoot it raw. So all the colors we put in afterwards. So South Bay, thank you.
Afterwards, he does all the editing. I just come hang out with him.
Hey, man. You know,
he's the technical guy. I'm just entertainment guy.
I'm a geek when it comes to this shit.
And I appreciate it. It's like when you got all the gear, I was like, dude, this is so cool.
So, you know, all this audio gear was sponsored by Straight Auto Body Shop.
Thank you guys again.
And if you guys need any type of work done to your car, Straight Auto Body Shop is the place. I mean, I've seen some people be able to get a color 90% correct. His color guy, I mean, didn't you get your front bumper done?
100%.
Like, to the point.
100%. I send people to him because I don't like to recommend people to places that I personally haven't used because I can't vouch for them. It's hard.
Exactly.
It's hard. It's easy. Yeah, I can say, oh, this person used them, but I'd rather send them somewhere that I personally use them, and they help me get the bumper because the curve got in my way a long time ago. And story for another day. They got me the bumper. They color matched it. When I saw it, I was like, what the hell? Very.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
And they are Infinity certified. Just like, I think they have other certifications too. I'm not too sure exactly which ones. Nissan and Infinity is one, the two. So
especially because some of the Infinity colors are hard. I hear the red.
The
like
Sunstone.
10-step process. It's, yeah,
it's crazy. And the guy that they have here is...
Especially for all those people that have like carbon fenders, the whole whatnot, that want a color match.
Clear coat and all that good stuff.
Or just re-clear your carbon.
Speaking of, anyways, back to our conversation. As far as sponsorships go, you know, I'm just gonna throw this out there. I've worked with over 20 companies in my lifetime when it comes to the car industry. If you apply for a sponsorship, make sure when you do apply, you do realize that some of these companies do require you to have the part for a year straight. And afterwards, you know, they'll either ask for it back or let you keep it. Some companies do ask for their parts back.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Some companies do. I know a wheel company that has a 6-month period where they do something, where they'll sponsor you with their wheels for 6 months. After 6 months, you can either choose to buy it or you can switch it out.
Oh, to a different one?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, you get new wheels every 6 months. Kind of cool.
It is cool. They have different type of programs. I'm not going to mention the name just in case, but they do have different type of programs.
I had gotten a wheel sponsorship, a full sponsorship too. And like you said, it was for a year. But then that 1 year, I'm like, no, because I would want to go back and forth between my TEs and that company. So I declined it.
Who is it?
I can't tell you. thought you off mic.
You can tell me and I'll just mute it.
I'm good.
Why? Because I won't mute it.
Yeah. But it was cool. I mean, I was honored. I mean, it was full sponsorship. I just had to pay for the shipping my wheels over here, and that's it. But I didn't like the 1 year. I didn't like the commitment behind it because I like my tees.
I like your rotor forms more now.
It's a topic for another day.
All right. So,
They are pretty cool, though.
do you have any questions as far as what what goes on, majority of the sponsorships or the big companies and so forth? Or did you have anybody that asked you any questions that comes to mind?
These are just questions that I've gotten in the past a lot. People want to know how to approach companies, how to initiate conversations. And it's the same thing that I mentioned earlier. It's just look for their applications online. You know, not all of them are going to have it. But, you know, one thing I did notice is whether a company is big or a company is small, you need to approach them the same way.
Yeah.
You know, I'm one of the sales guys for Boosted 6 Auto Works as well. And, you know, we talk a lot.
Shout out to Turbo P.
He's bringing us a lot of stuff for the community. And, you know, we talk and he tells me about all these people that are trying to get quote unquote sponsored. And the way that they approach him, like one guy was like, "You're," literally that was like his opening line to the DM. He's like, "You're looking into getting a sponsorship." Like, what the heck, dude?
Yeah, reach out to me, buddy. I'll send you that proposal, and then you can fire it back on Turbo P.
I'm not trying to be a jerk about it, but it's like it just goes to show you it's professionalism. You know, don't give us something to laugh at. In other words, you know, it's professionalism goes a long way.
It does go a long way.
You know, I actually really had to think about. Like when I had submitted my stuff, I really I proofread it a lot, like multiple times. So I was kind of example of like trying to be professional. I was trying to get the new Z out for an event when like after the Fast Intentions event. I spoke to the guy afterwards, and you know you're talking to corporate people, you know, so you want to be professional as possible. I remember I had talked to him at the event, and he's like, "Yeah, just, you know, whenever you want the car, just send me an email, and then we could work something out." I'm like, "Cool." So one day I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna send the email." I wrote it like 15 times, like rewrote it. I even had my coworker proofread it and see if I needed to adjust anything, just because, you know, it's not just anybody that you're talking to. You know, you're talking to legit people in high places. You know, so the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I took it serious. Whether it's Nissan or whether it's Infiniti or whether it's a smaller company, you have to always approach it in the most professional way possible. Mm-hmm. You know, just because it's a one-man team doesn't mean, you know, you don't need to respect them. Respect everybody. But yeah, that was a very...
How'd that go?
They were using the cars. They had said yes, but we couldn't coordinate a date.
That's
But I tried. I know it would be kind of cool, but whatever.
It is what it is, but at least you tried.
Yeah, I lost nothing.
Exactly. You would have never known if you didn't try.
Mm-hmm. I thought it would have been kind of cool, but whatever.
It is what it is. Maybe on the next car.
An all-electric car.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Send it back to the... Never mind.
Trying to think about it. Yeah, that's just what I tell people. Get high-quality pictures. Sipon did all the hard work for you guys already with the whole proposal thing. I mean, the way it's worded, it's as professional as it can get.
Oh, dude. I showed my...
I actually told you shouldn't give it to them because you're pretty much doing the job for them.
You did say that.
I was kind of against it, to be honest with you guys.
My wife said the same thing. She goes, you just basically made everybody's job easy, and somebody that doesn't deserve it is going to take it and use it and probably piss off a company, and that company is going to say... Yeah.
But count your blessings.
Count your blessings.
Don't be like the old school people like me. You had to actually write stuff down. Get it proofread.
Yeah. Imagine the days when all you had was Microsoft Word and you had to type those proposals.
You know, I remember I had a few back and forth emails with Brahm. They kind of vetted me a little bit as far as like who I am, what I do, what shows I have coming up, You know, not all like you said. I mean, they responded. They didn't just say no. So it's like, all right, cool.
You got their attention.
I was surprised. I was like, oh, okay, we're having a conversation. Cool.
Yeah, you got their attention. Listen, once you get their attention, doesn't matter how you do it. Well, excuse me, not how you do it, but like once you get their attention, you're halfway in. You have one foot in the door. After what you do afterwards is all in your hands. So it's like playing basketball, right? Once you have the ball, that's 50%. Whether you make the ball, if not, that's all on you. A lot of companies, they will ask you questions. They will ask you if you're going to attend events, and they're going to ask you for dates of those events. And that's one of the good things about this proposal, you know? It gives them a breakdown of the events that you may attend.
Fill in the blanks.
Exactly. There's more than fill in the blanks, but it gives you the option to do so.
Yeah.
All you have to do is attach a few photos to those proposals and send it in. You're good to go.
And be ready to go to shows because they require you to go to shows. Some of them specify 3, 4, whatever shows, but you have to go to shows.
You have to go to the shows.
And you have to post.
You have to do posts.
A lot of
you
companies, I think Brom, like 1 a month.
Okay.
I think either story or feed, one or the other. I haven't kept up on it, but I mean, it's been a while. So, but be very, represent the companies right. Everybody wants sponsorships, but are you promoting them right? Are you actually tagging them? Are you actually putting who you're sponsored by? To me, I think it's an honor to be able to represent a company. Because the way I see it is, this is going to sound kind of lame, but for me, I'm just some random dude who decided to get a car, who knew nobody, who wanted to build something, and for a big company to allow me to represent them is a big honor.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. It just reminds me of like my first Infinity car meet, which was at the Infinity dealership that you hosted. I didn't even want to park inside because I saw the cars. I was like, oh crap. So I literally parked outside and then I just went inside and I just looked at all the cars. It was a humbling thing for me. I was like, whoa,
That was a long time ago.
A very long time ago. I think
was that on the roof or downstairs?
Downstairs. It was downstairs. Like you were there, like all the OGs, like you were there, Sandro, Arash. Where are the other ones? Sam was there.
Sampio?
Yeah. And then what's the other guy? He had the silver Q60. And now he's a Beamer guy.
Oh, Harry.
Yeah, Harry was there. Is all the older, a lot of you guys are probably like, what the heck are all these people?
Yeah.
But that was, I always look back to that event and it kind of reminds me of like where you start, and that's why to me it's more of an honor to be able to represent a company. So that's why I want to do it the right way.
Yeah. It's humbling for somebody to say that it's an honor, because a lot of times that these guys get so cocky once they get sponsored that it's like all about them, no matter what. But at the end of the day, you got to realize it can go away as quickly as it came in.
Yep.
They can take that away as fast as they gave it to you. And unfortunately, that's the name of the game. That's how sponsorship works. If you do it right, they'll continue supporting you. Arc Performance. I think my relationship with Arc Performance is almost 10 years old, if not more. I had it on my FX. I had it on my G37. I've recommended them to a lot of people. But it's a relationship. You build a relationship. They help you. You help them. You got to be able to understand how everything works by allowing them to give you the product, but at the same time understanding what they require in return. Just because they give you a product doesn't mean you're done there.
That's just the beginning.
It's just the beginning.
Literally.
Look at it this way. Look at it as a friendship, right? If that company continues to exist, if you do everything right, the next car you get, you never know. They might just throw something at you then and there. That's the way I see it.
It's like when I had my Jeep, I asked, when I bought them, I hit up the guy from AFE. I'm like, do you guys plan on getting into this platform? And he's like, I'll get back to you. I'm going to talk to my R&D people. And they're like, no, it's not really a platform that we're. I'm like, okay, cool.
You didn't lose by asking.
Nope. I'm like, I have the car, so why not let them use it if they plan on? But it wasn't for them. They had asked me too if I was gonna get the Z. They're like, "You're gonna get the Z." I'm like, I don't know yet, because they wanted to use it. So,
I mean, I can possibly set up a Z for them.
nah, they already did their R&D stuff.
I would have done it for free.
Adrian got it.
Who's Adrian?
He's from he was from Tarmac Functions.
Karma Functions.
Yeah, he has his
own.
He's not with them anymore though.
I know who you were talking about.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy.
He had the Ford Focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did a video shoot with him long time ago. Run Rally. I think that's how I met him.
No, he's a really cool guy.
I think
It's like Evo Works now or something like that. It's a shop. But he took his car to NISFest last year. That's when they he had just gotten it, and AFP had just finished some of the work for it.
Cool.
I think SEMA this year is going to be Aussies, right?
That's how it is. But you know what the funny thing is, when the Qs came out, Q60s,
There was one.
the first year there was only 2 or 3.
Yours and whose?
Arash was one, I think.
Really?
No, Arash I think was 2 years, 3 years later. Anyways, I think it was just maybe 1 or 2 Qs.
They didn't love us.
And AMS was one of them, of course. They had that red.
Their Alpha car.
Yeah, that thing was.
It was all show, like motor wise though, not aesthetics, right?
No, it's a full built car, a race car. That's all it was. Those seats, I want those seats.
The carbon ones?
Yeah.
They're pretty dope. I saw some on
AMS,
Alibaba.
I want those.
I found some carbon seats on Alibaba.
Actually, there's a guy, Lev.
Those are
Vet.
You with the vet? Yeah, those are pretty dope.
Yeah, he said his guy can make them.
Really?
Yeah. That's how he got his made.
I'm scared to hear about the price.
It wasn't much.
Yeah?
It wasn't much.
I wonder if our brackets fit it though. Like, if you need
Bro,
different-
forget about the brackets.
Well, you gotta think
Imagine on a long drive. Imagine the drive you have to do from home to work in those seats.
put extra padding on.
Put a pillow.
You know, the funny thing is, like, everybody always asks if my Brom seats are comfortable, and that's the thing. Like, to me, the car is cool. Like, I built it to have fun. I built it for me, right? I shows people are always asking, "Hey, are the seats comfortable?" I'm like, just sit in the car. I could care less. You know, people are always looking like, really? I'm like, what are you gonna take off with the car?
You'll be doing me a favor.
It's like it's slammed on the floor. You're not gonna get very far. But people are always like surprised. They're like, really? I'm like, just go sit in it. Because to me, it's another way of promoting. You know, it's like you never know when you're gonna be promoting your car, the product. Sorry, you know. And at car shows, that people are asking me like, "Hey, how'd you do this? How'd you do that? How'd you put your harness? How do your seats feel? You know?" And I tell them like, I drove to Vegas in the car. I didn't complain the whole way. Went and came back. It's gonna sound wrong, but my butt didn't hurt on the way. It's the best way to explain it. People are always asking me about my harness, but my whole harness bar was redone, so that's kind of hard. Yeah, Automotive doesn't mess around.
Yeah, I don't think I can fit in the Brom seat. So
You did?
Did I?
Yeah, when we did the video up the canyon. Remember we were at 7-Eleven and I had to adjust the harness?
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to get into detail, but let's just say we did a canyon run with no seatbelts on.
Yeah.
For this guy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not your average human being, okay?
Man, that was fun.
That was a fun day.
That
black ice was scary.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All the way up on top.
That black ice was
It's on
scary.
camera, too. I think you hear him like, whoa.
Yeah. I do have it on camera.
Dude, that was an adventure.
But, you know, we're almost coming to an end to our episode. But going back to the whole sponsorship, guys, keep mindful of how you approach these companies. You know, be respectful, be professional about it, and you'll get more out of it versus to going into somebody's DM and saying, your doesn't work, don't get you anywhere. But, you know, your best bet is if you want to get full sponsorship, what a lot of companies are looking for is a car that just basically came out. Get the car, send it to them, let them do their thing. But do keep in mind, some of these companies will keep your car for days on end, sometimes weeks. There's companies that will keep your car for months. But the return is good because you don't pay anything out of pocket. The only downside is you're paying a note without having a car.
Yep.
But, you know, sometimes that's the name of the game. That's how building a car goes. Sometimes you have your car.
Websites and whatnot. it's a lot of, how do you say it? I don't know what the right term is. Forget it.
What are you trying to say?
It's like being able to see your car on a website is pretty satisfying.
It is. It absolutely is.
It's like you're like, whoa.
Or being able to see a large corporation post your car. That's satisfying.
It's a very humbling experience.
And sometimes people don't take it as a humbling experience, though.
You should. You know, honestly, you guys, don't let the car scene change you. Please don't. Like, it's not a cool thing.
We've seen that happen to quite a few people.
You know, the part that I'm pretty sure it happens to Deep all the time, but you know, I'm going to say this in the most nicest way possible, but when people hit me up and I respond to them, people are like, whoa, you responded. I'm like, why wouldn't I respond? Like, who am I to not respond to you?
Yeah.
You know, people are always like, dude, I can't believe you're this chill about stuff. I'm like, why wouldn't I be this chill? It's like I know what I've built and I know what I've been able to accomplish it, but that's not going to determine like why, like me changing, you know, and it just doesn't make sense to me. I wish it would make sense. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
You know, me and, I don't know if he's comfortable mentioning his name, but I won't. But regardless, a few days ago, that's exactly what we're talking about. The guy was like, I didn't even know you would respond to me. I go, why wouldn't I respond to you? You asked me a question respectfully. You didn't get into my DMs just asking a question straight away. You said, hey, how are you? Can I ask you a question?
We talked about that one time.
We've talked about it.
Initiate a conversation first. Like,
yeah,
at least say, hey, how's it going? Don't just be like, bro, my car blew up. Like, okay, what do you want me to do?
Or don't get in my DMs and say, is there a dealership that you can recommend me to?
Mod friendly one. Come
on, dude.
Yes, don't ask me those questions.
Yeah, don't ask me those
I'm
questions.
just going to be like, I don't know.
But, you know, be respectful about everything. Be respectful in how you do things. Talk to people how you want to be talked to. Mm-hmm. You know, you show respect, you get respect. If you don't show respect, I'm not even going to bother opening your DM. I'm just going to delete it and move on about my day.
Don't get mad at us if we don't I mean, I'm nicer than he is. He knows it too. I sent him screenshots and he was like, why'd you respond? I'm like, I'm just too nice.
You know, I've had moments, maybe 1 out of 1,000 where I've responded just because it is what it is. But like, enough is enough. Mm-hmm. You know, or I love it when that one person you choose to respond to that you shouldn't have responded to, you answer the question, no thank you, no nothing, gone.
Mm-hmm. I stopped giving. That happened one time. I forgot who it was for. So it got me to the point where I just stopped giving people advice. I was just over it at that point. And the funny thing is, like, when people DM me, they're like, dude, I DM'd like 10 other people. I know they responded, and you actually responded. I'm like, who do these 10 other people think they are?
And yeah, we won't charge you to pay to answer your questions either.
No, but I mean, if you guys want to donate, I'm all for it.
Speaking of donating, if there is any other companies that want to come onto this episode, to the podcast, and talk about their companies, you're more than welcome to reach out to myself or Caesar. We're more than happy to host you. And if there's other companies out there that want to sponsor the episode, become one of the sponsors on a specific episode and so forth of the podcast, reach out to us. We'll be more than happy give you guys some information. And one other thing that I do want to say again is, guys, at the end of the day, you know, we can't do this without you guys. Mm-hmm. We won't be here. We wouldn't be able to be here without you guys. So if you are watching, if you are listening, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you like the video, share it, comment below. If you have any thoughts or anything that you want to share with us, you know, leave it in the comments below. We'll be happy to answer it on the next episode or in the comment section if you prefer. But, you know, the YouTube algorithm is not helping us right now. Just because the channel is so old and we hadn't done anything for a long time. But we're back. We're taking care of business. We're not going anywhere. We're going to turn this into something that not a lot of people expected it to be.
And we have fun with this.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, like, he has this full-time job. I have a, you know, we all do our daily things, but we look forward to coming here and just chatting with him. You know, if you guys notice, this is all unscripted.
Yep.
The only conversation me and Sipan had about today was, we're talking about sponsorships. Okay, done. That's it. And like, when we have guests, he just tells me, hey, this person's coming. This is their shop. Do your research. Okay, I do my research when I get here. But he's
bad at that, by the way.
We keep this as unscripted, as natural, as normal as can be, because it's why script it?
Yep.
You know, it's too. This is more fun this way.
Well, guys, again, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Again, thank you Straight Auto Body Shop for allowing us to use your shop. South Bay Auto Works. If you are on the website shopping, use code ClubImport. You get 15% off your entire shopping cart.
Save yourself some monies.
Amen to that. Hey, 15% is a lot of money when it comes to parts. But again, thank you, everybody. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment below in the video. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other good stations, thank you for listening. And see you guys on the next episode.